Hello, my lovelies. How are you? We are here for day 3 of the energy and frequency of money. I just realized you see that I still have my lovely stickers on this closet. It's fairly new in the past few months. Well, actually, like 6 months, but we haven't taken the stickers off. So that's hilarious. I just realized that. So I'm in the closet, our nice big walk-in closet, and we are going to talk about the energy and frequency of money, day 3. And we're also I'm going to give you something to work on. So I just want to talk a little bit more about the energy and frequency of money. But first, if you would like to follow along on these days, please let me know in the comments. Just say tag me. And if you've missed day 1 and day 2, just let me know. I can tag you in those. And then I can continue to tag you in the following days because we are doing this for 8 days. So let me know in the comments. Let me know where you are. Say hello. I'll see if I can see your comments. Sometimes I don't think I can see them live. So it looks like I can see them. Hi, Princess. How are you? So, yeah, I want to get into a little bit more of the like meat and bones of what the energy of money is and what the frequency of money is. So I'm going to do that. But what I want you to do is go back and watch day 1 and day 2. You're going to find out a little bit more about me and my journey. But in each video, I'm kind of, going to reveal a little bit more about me. Unless you know me from the past, I mean, you might just hear more stuff about me. So, so the energy of money and the frequency of money, they are sort of separate things, but I can tag you, Princess, in day 1. So they're sort of separate things, but they're very intertwined. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean. So the energy of money is going to come from like the energy that you have about money. So this comes from like the way that you think and believe about money, the way you feel about money. So really all around in all the situations in your life, how do you feel about money? And that is giving you energy, okay? That's the energy of money that you now emit, because emit is then the frequency. So they're very intertwined. So are you having a high energy or a low energy when it comes to money? So are you thinking, you know, do you think abundance or scarcity? Are you thinking fearful or hopeful and faithful? So those two things is the difference between a high energy or a low energy. I'm sure you can tell the difference between a high energy and a low energy of money. Let me know in the comments, do you feel like lately you've been more high energy or low energy with money and about money? It's really just, it's related, the energy of money is related to how you're thinking and feeling on a daily basis. And that then gives the frequency that you're emitting out. Okay, so are you a high frequency or a low frequency about money? So it's your day to day. Are you more often fearful and, thinking fearful thoughts, having shame and guilt around money, or anger and resentment around money? Those are all going to be like a low energy and a low frequency. And how often are you doing it? Are you doing it every single day, more often than not? Are you having a low energy? So that would be the frequency that you emit more often, is a low energy of money. And sometimes, and this is what I'm teaching here in these videos. Sometimes, you can just shift these. No, what I'm saying is sometimes you don't realize what your energy and frequency of money is. But usually if you don't, you can probably pinpoint, well, I think I'm kind of a low energy and frequency of money. Just based on, well, I don't really think about it much and I'm not really conscious of it. Not everybody, but it's going to be common that if you're not really attending to your relationship with money, that there's going to be a little bit of low energy and low frequency around money. So you can see how they're intertwined. You can see that, right? And how can you shift it? Well, this is exactly what I teach. Is you teach it you learn it over time. So first of all, it's like we live so much of our lives unconsciously. And so the purpose is to bring this stuff to consciousness. And, that's why it's like when you just jump into like, okay, I'm going to do lots of affirmations every day and, just say my affirmations every day and then maybe it'll work. Like, that's why that doesn't work, because you actually do have to tell the truth about money. So I had a client just recently in the current cohort of Rich Girl School, and she was talking about how she has this bill to pay to the IRS, and she owes money to the IRS, and she was trying to get out of paying it. And what was underneath that is that she hates the IRS. She hates the government, in whatever way that she hates the government, right? There's a resentment there, and there's like, I don't want to pay, and trying to just get out of paying it. And when she really looked, it's like just this dislike, right? This dislike of having to pay that. When everybody in the United States, I'm currently in Mexico. I live in Mexico, but I pay taxes in the United States, with the money I make in my business. So, and I've been doing that for years. I don't pay taxes in Mexico, but, little side note, little sidetrack. So there's this thing called spiritual bypass. And if you just like pretend everything is okay, you try to it's like putting frosting over a poop pie. It's like trying to just pretend something's not there and then like try to manifest from that place, even though behind the curtain is this hatred for this government agency that technically, if you are from the United States or about the United States, like the money that goes to the government in taxes, more often than not, is used for keeping the streets clean. Okay, if you, like, compared to Mexico, for example, like, the streets here are dirty, okay? The sewer systems are, bleh, it's smelly, right? So if you've ever been to Mexico, like, there's such beautiful places here, and I'm not trying to talk crap about Mexico. It's just the truth. Like, the government here is a little bit more corrupt, and so that's just what happens. But the money in the United States that you pay in taxes, you can see that the environment is good. Like, there's police, the streets are clean, the streets, like, there's not like tons of potholes in the streets. There's sometimes somewhere, but anyways, I don't need to go on a big tangent about that, but the point is that that's where that money's going. And when you can really like start to think of it that way, it's like you can appreciate the fact that you pay taxes and that you do have the freedoms that you have, and you have like this good environment to be in where they, like recycling and garbage, and there's just like all this stuff that is provided in the school systems through paying the taxes. So that's just one way to look at it. And anyways, so we're not spiritually bypassing. So part of the work is really to be looking at the history, your history of money. What is the story you've been telling all this time? Okay, you can't bypass it. And I think what many people think is, oh, if I think about that stuff, then it's going to make my money manifestation process worse. And then I won't manifest money and I don't want to look. But that's not true. That's not true. You must look at what is the way you've already been thinking about money. That was day one. That was day one of the energy and frequency of money. What's the way you have to start thinking about the way you have been thinking about money so far in your life, okay? I'm 38 years old, and I started this work when I was 30 or 31. Can't remember. I'll have to do the math on that and get back to you. And so that's what I've been doing. And I only was able to transform as much as I have transformed with my relationship with money because of thinking about the way I've been thinking about money. You can't bypass looking at your money history. You can't bypass looking at your generational like hand-me-downs from your parents, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So there's a mirror. You have a mirror. You are the spitting image, mostly, not maybe exactly, but of your parents, okay? So we're talking about mother, father, mirror here. Mother, father, mirror. So what I want you to do, and by the way, yesterday on day 2, I talked about how you can shift a belief. How you can shift a belief, but first you have to see the belief. So you look at, like, I asked you to write down a memory, then look at from that memory, what was it that you made up about money? And then and so that's like your belief. Like, that's what I believe about money because of that memory, that thing that happened. There was something that happened, and you've got tons of these, right? You've got tons of these things. And so then look at what was it that I made it mean? And then if that's a negative thing, like that you made it mean, creating like, well, what do I really want to believe about money? And creating kind of your own affirmation, which is super powerful because when you take somebody else's affirmation, it may not vibe with you. And I honestly recommend when you create affirmations, if they feel like a little too out there, like, oh, that's not really me, you can just put in front of the affirmation, like, I'm learning to feel safe with money. I am learning to earn more and more money and save money. So just put the I'm learning if it's like too much for you to jump to like a big affirmation that just doesn't feel true to you. Okay. So the mother, father, mirror. So what you want to do is get a piece of paper and write down like the characteristics of your mother and your father. Just think about them and how you see that they behaved with money, like how they portrayed money to you. Like, what did you see? And just write down their characteristics. Like, my mom like loved to spend money, or my mom, was scared about money and she always was fearful and she told me never, there was not enough and we don't have money, whatever it was. Like, just write down the characteristics of your mom and your dad. And after you do that, then take a moment, and sit with yourself and then look at, okay, which one of these things did I take on as part of my personality and my characteristics on how I relate to money? Okay, so this is the mother, father mirror. It's like looking in the mirror because, look, the other thing I want to tell you is if you didn't have a mom and dad and maybe you were raised by an aunt or an uncle, you can do this with the people who you were raised by, or the couple, 2 or 3 people who you were around the most. And you'll see, and the cool thing about this is like when you see that the things that are similar between the people who raised you and who you are and how you've been being with money, then you can say, oh, they gave that to me, but not with my permission. It was just handed to me. And you as a child had no conscious permission, no choice. You just took it on, and that's not a problem. And we're not blaming them, because the same thing happened to them in their relationship with money, with whoever raised them and whoever they were around most of the time when they were growing up from 0 to 7 years old. So, and beyond. So just look at that, because when you see that, you're going to start to go, oh, okay, so I don't need, like, I can give that back. I can give that back to them, and it's not mine. And then boom, it's like you get to create whatever energy you want around money. What is the energy you want to feel from day to day? You know, like 90% of the time, we're going for 100, but you know, we're human. We fall back into our old ways, but that's the work. That's the work that you're doing here. So that is the mother, father mirror. And I want you to do that and let me know how it goes. Let me know what you discover and come back to me. If you want to be tagged in day 4, let me know. We're going to do a little bit of speculation around your future, around ways to earn money, your purpose, right? Like the thing that gives, this is what I believe. Like when you're doing something you absolutely love and you get to make money doing it, that's the best, okay? That is the best. And so that's what we want to look at you doing. And we're going to do that tomorrow. And yeah, just imagine like the energy is, are you in scarcity and fear, shame, guilt? Or are you, you know, hopeful and faithful? I'm feeling good and joyful and happy and gracious around money. Like, do you trust that it's going to be there, that you can manage it? And if not, that's okay. You can learn, right? Okay, you can learn all these things. And that's the energy. So which one are you? And it's okay if you maybe are in the middle sometimes. Even I am in the middle sometimes. Even I, you know, I'm still on this journey too. It's just that I've come, you know, 6 years down the road from when I started, 6 or 7 years down the road since when I started this. And so, you know, I have investments. I've lived off my savings for the past year. No joke. I literally took a sabbatical. I haven't been teaching Rich Girl School. I've just leaned back. I've let my man, you know, take care of me. And I've just been kind of a little bit of soul searching and healing. And I did that because I was able to, because of the money that I've saved. And that wasn't who I was in the past. I didn't have a savings, you know, like I didn't manage my money. And I love this because I have clients, you know, right now going through Rich Girl School where, you know, they have a bill come out of their checking account and they didn't realize it. And they were like saying, I needed that money to go on this road trip today and now I can't go. And they were upset. And I used to live like that, where like money issues would come up out of the blue, but trust me, it's not out of the blue. It's because of the lack of management. And that's okay. It's just, it's not fun to live like that. I've lived like that. You know, I've lived like that where I would get a bill in the mail and be like, oh my God, this speeding ticket that I got, I just threw it away to the side. And later it turned into $300 and went to collections. And then at that point, it was like, I had to pay that. They called me and I was like, what? And that's just the consequence of not looking, of definitely avoiding, like not looking, avoiding, and not managing your money. And the not managing your money and not looking comes from the energy that you have around money, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, you know? And all of them can be worked through, okay? Because I'm telling you, I was like the queen of shame when it came to money. But now I'm not. Now I'm not. And you can do that too. Whatever it is that may be negative that you're feeling about money, or whether it's around worthiness of money, anything can be worked through. It's just that you can't spiritually bypass. You can't bypass it and go straight to the affirmations and go straight to, you can in a way, right? But you got to look at the way that you've been thinking about money. That's day one. Okay. All right. So, my lovelies, if you are ready to shift and rearrange everything about your relationship with money, I promise you that you will earn up to 50% or more when you do the work and when you show up to the calls and you do the quantum time release, because that's what you get inside Rich Girl School. That will happen. That will happen, and you can ask my clients. You can look at my testimonials. I've got tons of testimonials of women whose lives have transformed. They've earned up to 50% or more. Okay, I've had women go from 60K to 120K. That's amazing. Okay, and getting bonuses, cash coming out of nowhere. Just the way that they feel about money completely shifts. And that only happens because they allow themselves to look at the truth about, oh my God, like, oh, I actually do hate money. I've been feeling guilty all my life. It's just so much shame. I've never wanted to face it. And just simply doing that, boom, it transformed. And these women become joyful, excited to manage their money, like literally excited to take on all the aspects of their finances, earning more, managing it, working with a financial advisor to invest and that kind of stuff. So that's the transformation. That is the Rich Girl School effect. And I want that for you. And we are starting on Tuesday, August 26th, and you're invited, and the link is below. If you need a call with me to find out if this is really for you and how your life can transform, let me know in the comments. I want to call. And I will give you a link so you can schedule a call with me this week, today, right now, in a couple hours, whatever you need, okay? I love you. I want you to be able to have the best life that you want, okay? Because look, it's not about money. It's about having a rich, fulfilling life and being able to do what you want to do. Because the more, like, listen, we're here for a purpose. Yeah, it's to be joyful, okay? And happy. Like, to be joyful and happy. Like, that's the whole human race's purpose, okay? That is the purpose of being a human, is to just enjoy life. Okay, but all of us are like a little piece of the human race, that we contribute a little piece to the happiness. And when people aren't happy, I know that's my purpose, okay? I know that's my purpose, is to help women go through the process of getting to a place where they can love themselves, love their body, love their bank account, like love their relationship with money, because money ultimately allows you to do that, to live more in your purpose, to have a mission and live in your mission and your purpose, okay? More money allows you to do that. All right. I am so excited. Okay. So, Princess, yes, I will drop the link there. And we're going to see you tomorrow for day 4. I love you, and we'll talk soon.